Not what I was expecting. So much not what I was expecting, but okay. Anyways, if you're listening, it would be a pleasure if you went and downloaded the HAPS app and got started on broadcasting because everybody has a voice, right? It needs to be heard. So please don't feel like your voice is not worth being heard, even if you fall asleep during your broadcast. I wouldn't actually say I fell asleep. I would say I forgot to turn it off before I fell asleep, but hey, it's nothing to beat yourself up over. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that this is up and going. And if I don't see your comment, please don't take it personal. But if you did see that episode, let me start by saying you're welcome. And I also would like to start by saying this is really ticking me off right now. Um, I also would like to start by saying, yes, you're welcome. And I wouldn't try it at home. But yeah, I can say that it was the highlight of many people's days. Um, I can say that I always have those moments where I could always have go back and tell a story and say, "Do you remember when?" And I'm gonna just give you a little briefing on how that went for me when I woke up and I said, yeah." I'm like, go to the bathroom. I'm like, something sure is a little off here. I said, no, no. And then I looked and thank you, Haps, for letting that run for 2 hours. And I looked and all I needed to see was two things, this and that. And I said, oh, okay. And I really didn't get too like hysterical. I didn't even get hysterical. I had two choices. I said I can take this as a trooper and shit happens, or I could freak out and hide and run and act like it's the worst thing that can ever happen to somebody in life. I've come too far for that to ever happen. I'm 2 years into my podcasting, and I'm thinking that my credibility stands a little bit more stronger than that episode there. So I chose to laugh at myself and I left it up for a minute. Then I went back into some of the ones to erase, to delete that video. Now, granted that I have some friends that felt the need to take that video and keep it for their, I don't know, for a memorabilia. I don't know. But for the most part I got rid of it. For the most part. So, and then what's life if you can't have some embarrassing moments, especially in the media world, like social media and when you're recording and like people that broadcast, journalists and all that stuff. If you don't have any embarrassing stories, then I don't think you've really done your job. I don't think you have. So I have been promoted. That's what that is. See how I took that with a great attitude? Wasn't easy. Anyhow, so as you can see, I don't know if you see it, I am still sometimes having some technical difficulties with HapZap, and it's not their fault. It's just that I need to know it a little better, how to put my stuff up on the screen and all that. So for now, if you see me on the screen, that's all that really matters. And then the next time I'm up, I promise you I will know what I'm doing a little bit better. So just in case you don't know what this episode is about, it's because then I would really like to be able to see everybody's freaking comments. But a who, this is I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with or have a lot of experience when it comes to bullying. But what I do know about bullying is that, hold on, let me get this back up here. When it comes to bullying, there you go. And when it comes to bullying, I don't know. It just seems like in our world here, it just seems like people are conditioned to bullying. And once again, if I don't respond to a comment, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just for some reason I can't see them. And I'm working hard on trying to figure out what am I not doing correctly to see your comments. But I usually see them after I am done with the broadcast. So I will respond back to you when I can. Um, as far as when it comes to bullying, I don't know if you guys really heard, um, how much it's went up since the pandemic. Suicides have went up since the pandemic. I'm an educator. I haven't really been flexing that muscle since the pandemic, but you know, my child has experienced um, a nifty amount of bullying. It's very it's something that I don't take lightly. I'm very passionate about it because from what I see up close and personal, and I can tell you exactly what the problem is, where it lies, where it resides, and what it takes to fix it. And I truly just believe that somewhere in this society, nobody really wants to fix it. Because if we wanted to fix something, we'd fix it already. It's something that is tearing our community, our world apart, and damaging our children. I would think would be at the top of our list, but it just doesn't seem that way. When you can sit back and watch a group of kids take a child and do him the way they did him, and then make him drink their urine, and not get upset, that bothers me. A child. I don't care if it wasn't a child, but a child at that, and just be tortured. No one should be going to school and having to be tortured. And on top of that, for the color of their skin. It is 2021. So many generations have surpassed. And you're telling me we are now here, and our children of this day and time are still. That should show us how far we have not come. I just would appreciate if we all just took a moment and just really processed what hatred can do and what it has done to this world, and what each individual, all of us, could do differently to put forth some effort into what we can do to make it a better place for our children and for human beings in general. No human being deserves to be punished for how they were born. I think we all owe some kind of responsibility to contributing to that factor. Because I really don't think that ignoring it and not associating yourself with it just because I'm not racist or I'm not this, so I don't have nothing to do with. I think if we're all human beings, I think we live on this planet together. I think we all have something to do with something. There's no such thing as I'm not a part of it. We are a part of it because we sit on this planet, we fight, we bicker. We're all voting one freaking president, one this, one that. So what does that tell you when it comes down to the United States? I guess I'll just keep it, I'll minimize right now because I know too much can be like, oh, we vote for one vice president, one president, and then we have the audacity to sit back and try to separate ourselves. Do you know how ignorant that sounds and how uneducated it looks? Because it's like, wait, we're sep it's like we can't even connect the dots ourselves. Like carry the one, drop the two. Oh yeah, and then there's two presidents that were voting for one, but yet we're separate. Common sense here. We could probably come to a better place if we were together. The things that separate us in this world make no sense. But I just want everybody like to take like a 30 seconds to sit back and think about the things that we allow to separate us when it comes to this society. Like think about it. Go ahead. Let's just think about it. Hmm. And then think about the things that we should, as a society, be upset about together, collectively. The things that harm our children, the nasty, nasty things that go on in this world that us as parents and human beings should be more disturbed by than somebody's color of their damn skin. That just doesn't make sense. I'm like, how many degrees do you have and you still haven't figured this one out? Seriously, got like 4 5 degrees, but you can't even explain why you don't like somebody because you don't know them because of the color of their skin, but you don't even know them. And you don't judge people. Let me make this very clear to you guys. Skin folk don't make kin folks. Like I don't just adapt and just become someone's friend because of the color of their skin. Like I don't know you. You still have to go through the same protocols as everybody else. And that's with anybody. I don't care. That's just common sense. You can't judge somebody's character by the color of their skin. And what are we teaching our children? We're passing on ignorance. Like, who wants to do that on purpose? Like, oh, I'm sorry, son, but yeah, it's gonna need you to carry on the ignorant torch. Like, I want greatness for our children. I want your child, my child, all of our children to have a chance to do a whole lot better than we ever did or have done on this planet. Because no matter how much smoke we blow at each up in the each other and say that we've done such a great job, look around. Have we if everybody took individual, just like really just stayed out of each other's lane and focused in on what we can do to better ourselves, you know and really take inventory of what we could have done a little bit better. Because see, the only person I have to compete with in this world is me to be a better Brandy than I was the day before. I can't compete with anybody else because I don't even know that person. So what am I competing for or with? There's no competition there because I don't know you. You know what I mean? I can't be you. I can only be me. Even if I do know you, I can only be me. So many people waste their lives trying to be better than somebody else when somebody should have taught them how to love themselves, because then maybe they would have worked on them. People that are always competing, trying to be better than, and they say that they're not, but they really are, because you can just tell they're thirsty, they're hungry. They thirst to try to show up people. And what we should have done, or parents should have done, was built them up to love themselves better. And then they would have worked on themselves better. And then we all could work on ourselves better. And then maybe we can produce some better results when it comes to who we are in this world. When because we're all a part of this world, we all do something that affects something in this world. And there's no such thing as a separate when we all are in this together and we have allowed people to make us think differently. So what do we have to say for ourselves? I'll wait. I know. Good thing is though, we can do it. We can do better. It's not too late. Brown, white, Hispanic. We're all in this together. Let me tell you what I can't stand. Now we clearly understand that there's a once upon a time where certain narratives just stuck. They stuck. That's what happened. But we can't just keep living in the past, right? We can learn from it. Sheesh, I know my past, not mine, literally, but I don't mind to become a future. But I know where my ancestors stem from, and I know what I want to do differently and what they probably want me to do differently. Just like white people. I know that you guys, well, I know that you can't blame everybody for what their ancestors did. We have to live in today. The difference is that there's some people that like to carry on those traditions, but still, we can't have that same mind frame. And I said, just claim it, you, all of you, all of you. If we didn't learn nothing from back then, that was horrible treatment of human beings. And if we didn't learn anything from back then, not everybody adapted that thought process and wanted those things for people. So when are we going to start treating people like individuals? I don't know. I'm just wondering. And you know, everybody's like, oh, well, he's always saying he's got black friends, he's got white friends. First of all, I don't even like having to identify people by saying, you know, the white this and that, the black this and that. Why can't I just talk of somebody like they're a human being? Well, I always got to like refer to them as black, white, Hispanic. You know what I mean? You know why this stuff is so strong embedded in us? Because we keep talking about it in a way where we make it that important. Like I shouldn't have to talk about a person and then have to let you know their ethnicity. You notice how we do that? Now, say for instance, if you're doing a storytelling, like you're reading a book, you know how you read a book to a child in school, and then you want to let them know who the person, their heritage, so they can follow along, something like that. But if I'm talking to you just in general about a person, like something that happened at a store today, well, I gotta let you know that's a black person. Hmm? And then you get judgmental and you make your choices regarding if they're black or white. Why does that person being black or white decide on how you judge that storyline? That's so ignorant. And if you've ever done that, and I'm not judging you, but I think that you should sit your tail down and really consider why you did that. Hold accountability to yourself and figure out why did you tag negativity to the color of that person. Don't be scared. Just do it. We are not perfect. None of us are perfect. But if we don't hold any accountability, then what? I was in this because this is where it all comes from, bullying and all that. And the kids, they take it and they bring. I've listened to children. I have listened. Sometimes you got to quiet down and listen because you need to understand where they're picking it up from and listen to the way they talk to each other. And you clearly know they get it from home. So we got to do better at home. So I helped this group together in this community app. You guys can check into it. It's called Swellcast. Swellcast. I mean, some of you guys might know who and where that is. And so I helped this group. I think it was the first day of Black History Month. And I said, I want to try something different. And so I asked everybody if they were willing and comfortable to come into this Swellcast. I called it a safe place because to me, I wanted to make sure it was a safe place for any and all races to come in and talk, or cultures to come in and talk. And so the narrative was that if anyone ever wanted to ask a Black person, African American person, a question and ever felt uncomfortable, a little nervous, but always needed and wanted to know something, they could do that in this room here and be safe, and vice versa. If you're a non-Black person, then you could come in. And for Black people, if you had any comments or questions, you know what I mean? Let's go. But it was a safe place. So in order for you to have clicked into this room, that meant you understood that this was a place of safe haven. You know what I mean? For you to ask those questions, to receive those questions. And it did very well. When I came back to the room, I didn't just sit in there and wait, I got, had things to love to spread. When I came back, it was amazing how many people, how many white people came in and spoke, and because like live audio, but you can come back, you ask questions and stuff like that and answer it. And so many people like you were wanting to ask questions. You could tell they've been waiting for someone to allow them to feel safe to ask these questions. And as a Black woman, I felt very good to be able to offer that. The first part of it that made me feel really good about it was a safe place. That was important because there's a lot of trolls, a lot of ignorant, and a lot of just mean people, and I don't roll with that. I don't care what color you are. If it has something to do with, if I invite somebody somewhere or wherever it may be, you're not gonna come in and call them slurs, and you're not doing that. I don't care. We are all human. And once we start to understand that, which I can't not believe is 221, and we still haven't conquered that we are humans. Yeah, I understand. So, yeah. So when you're with me, I always know that I have your back. Um, just seeing, I'm expecting some, have an interview today with these lovely ladies in Canada. I want to give a shout out to Authentic Chaos. They are a podcast too, and I just wanted to give some love out to them. Have interviews. They're from Canada, and they talk a lot about mental health, and I just wanted to give them a shout out while I was on here. But so yeah, that room went really well. There's a white woman that came in there, and she's always so lovely and so kind inside the community. And I didn't expect what she had said. I didn't know she was holding this, but she did. And what I got from her was that she felt she didn't know if she could have the right to feel bad. You know what I mean? For or have any type of feeling towards what Black people have been through. That's what I sense I got from her. You know, and I wanted to let her know that that was courageous. First of all, for her to be so to allow herself, because some people feel like, when she crying, what's she crying about? All the years that we've been through, and I'm just like, see, that's the attitude. It's gonna screw us over all the time. We have to start treating each other with empathy. If we don't, then shut up and take a lot of seats. If you can't do it, then it's not for you. It's plain and simple. If you have nothing positive to say, go take a lot of seats. And then there's another man that thanked me for the opportunity because he wanted to ask, what's the politically correct term to call Black people? And I said, well, darn it, that's a good one because I was in the same boat. Lately, I've been considering that too. I've actually been trying to adapt melanin tone into. Now it's not for everybody. I'm not like trying to make it to where like now you can't say Black. That's a lot of work. Look how far we've gotten with things that have been way past this time. So I could totally see that would be an issue. I don't have a problem with people referring to me as Black. The term for me is for me to change my thinking and the choice of words I use when referring to another melanin tone person or myself, knowing from where that word derived, where it came from. But I'm not expecting everyone to not use it, and I'm not gonna be upset with anyone that uses it, if you know what I mean. So I think when we start at home and clean up, so yeah, I told that man there, I said we go on this journey together because I'm still trying to figure that one out myself. And so I thought that was pretty cool that he asked that question. Oh, my back. But I think that starting at home, when I heard this one child tell this other child, kept referring to him as this white something, like you, and how he was saying it. And then when I walked up to him and I was like, what are you saying? Like, what the, you know? And I'm looking at him and I could feel it. I could completely tell. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out that he picked that up from home, from adults. You know what I mean? Like, that's where we get those things from. We don't clean it up and clear it up at home, then how do we expect for our future, for our children to get any better? So this bullying crisis, or whatever you want to call it, has been embedded in the world since the dawn of day. It's up to us to do something about it, to rid of it. Either you do something or you don't. But when it comes down to the point where people are taking their lives because of the way they've been treated, I think we've probably sat on this for too long. So if you could take a look, if you'd like to, I'm sorry, I just have this really bad pain in my back. I'm going to do something, take this to rub on, and I have. Um, Sometimes I do believe when I'm very into the state of like being consciousness. Sometimes I think when we talk about a lot of things, negativity and stuff, it will affect our bodies or the very, you know, elements around us, and we just have to just keep ourselves in a positive mind state and don't let those things ever affect you, ever. Okay. So on that note, if you could check out my website, you can go to my profile page and you'll see it. It should say Can't Get Enough Podcast, Brandy J. No, Can't Get Enough Podcasts, ConstantContacts.com. Yeah, and then it should lead you to the rest of my podcasts and all that. And if you ever have any questions, feel free. And if I did not see any of your questions, I promise if you left any, I will definitely reach out, because I told you I can't see anything. Yeah. And I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so very much. If you want to contribute, you can. If you don't, doesn't matter. I'm still coming back, and I still appreciate your support. So thank you so much. You guys have a blessed day, and keep doing what you do because you're awesome. And remember to love. Wait, somebody's calling me. Oh, get out of here. You can't be listening to my conversation. It was enough for you guys watch me sleep for 2 hours. Wait. Okay. Hello? No, no, I didn't. Okay, let me get off this live. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day. Let me see. How do I close?